All right, gentlemen, episode 16.
16.
Remember, we have to get to like 35 to see growth.
Yep.
Speaking of growth, we are currently at 68 subscribers. I was really hoping to come in tonight and be like, hey, guys, we got 69 subscribers. Giggity. But I got nothing. So our second guest ever.
That's true.
First live. Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
This is our first live guest.
Allie joined us.
Oh, boy.
That was Tiger King.
Yeah.
And that was technically two guests, but our first in-house live sitting with us.
He slid into our DMs. That's why he's here.
That's right.
I didn't get that DM.
I feel like I should probably shower after that. So yeah, I want to point this out before we get like in deep into everything. I made a
pointing at.
I want to know.
This one's going off the rails, dude.
It is. So listen, I know today he was looking for paint for his cornhole board, so I'm just going to ask questions. Do you eat a lot of paint chips today?
I bought a quart, but I got just a little bit left.
Yeah, I'm sure. You got a little left on your lips, too.
All right. Let's get some business done. So Adam texted us today at 4:52
that's right.
p.m.
Let's get it done.
So there's potential of him bringing $200 with him tonight. Do you want to explain why and what's going on here?
Kyle said he had a putter for sale.
It's still for sale.
And
You're sweating, dude.
I'm actually like crying here. So Kyle has a putter for sale, and everyone needs 5 putters. So
I mean, if you buy this one, I only have 3. So
I need 5 putters.
you got 2 bills for me?
I need. Well,
I got
six, 6 bills, I guess.
105 20s. Okay, thank you. You can take it when you leave. All right.
You're welcome.
$200 richer.
We're done.
If we need 5 putters, then I have about 5 for sale.
This is really true.
I'm way over that limit.
Holy shit. So anyway, Jamie's our guest. Jamie,
Yes.
welcome.
Thanks.
To episode 16. So before we get deep into this, we were talking about the Jordan documentary. Obviously for the last few weeks, because that was the big thing. And ESPN, if you're listening to this, I called out Max Kellerman and said, Max Kellerman is so full of shit when he said that Jordan said he wouldn't play for the dream team if Isaiah played. Did you see what surfaced this week?
That he clearly said that?
He clearly said that on the phone and said, is Isaiah playing? Because if he's playing, I'm not. And basically the conversation back and forth was, well, Chuck doesn't want Isaiah, so he's not playing.
Right.
So Max Kellerman, in the words of Tom Brady, suck on some of that. Just throwing it out there. I mean, you can have us on air talking about legitimate stuff, or you can keep having a talking head like Max Kellerman who has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, we're talking about a guy who probably never got picked in a dodgeball game in gym class.
By the way,
I digress.
I saw some. What's this?
You paying me $200 too?
Now he's going through my wallet. I know how much is there.
It was tempting, man.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of ones for the strip club.
I saw picture, whatever you want to call it. Sports Illustrated guys pick their top 5 all-time team if they had to draft a team right now. I mean, including old players. Draft their 5 guys plus a 6th man. And I believe it was Chris Mannix did not have Jordan on the team.
Who? Never heard of her.
So,
Never heard of her. Hold on.
He was the only one.
And we're back.
All right.
He's the only one that did not have Jordan on the team. And I don't know if he just did it because...
He wanted to get attention?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this asshole. He didn't have Jordan on his list.
And speaking of that, did you see Pippen yesterday? Said after watching games of Kobe was better than Jordan.
Well, Pippen's broke, and he's probably smoking something at this point. And now we know why he's broke. What do you think, Jamie?
No, Kobe's not even top 5 for me.
Whoa!
I don't know.
He's not.
Ooh.
It's a bold statement, Cotton. You want to share why? Or who?
Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Kareem, and you could throw any
Like
sort of that fits.
Bill Russell,
Will. I mean, I would. I'm not the biggest Kobe fan, but I respect him. But like in their primes, I would take Shaq over Kobe.
You can't downgrade a big guy.
Yeah. I think in his prime,
underappreciated.
I
in
think
his prime, Shaq was the most physically dominant athlete
100%.
ever.
yes.
Not just basketball.
No,
player.
agreed.
We're being invaded by dogs at the moment.
I was wondering what that was.
It's okay. It's all good.
That's not my fault.
Adam.
It's Adam's
He's the last
fault.
one down here.
I shut the door.
So
Shut the door.
Jamie's number 2 was LeBron.
I'm all over the place here.
Ooh,
do you want to touch on that?
I think I made my hatred very clear for LeBron
You
last
did.
episode.
I watched.
I think your hatred is not him as a player.
That's true. LeBron is an amazing athlete, an amazing basketball player. He's just a whiny little bitch.
I mean, you can't name me a player that plays today that isn't.
He's technically a whiny big bitch.
But that's how they've played the game since for the last 15
for
years.
Russ, it's Russ. It's like LeBron, whiny bitch, Harden, whiny bitch, and then the list just continues.
I mean, everybody's that way nowadays.
Yeah,
but,
That's true. If we had to rank them, though,
but
current players,
James Harden is one.
yeah.
But
yeah, Harden's up there too.
I mean, if LeBron played in the 90s, growing up that way, he probably won't bitch as much but they just expect those calls. That's why they bitch.
Yeah, they do. They think I'm the superstar I get this call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give
That's
you
how
that.
today's played.
I don't disagree with that. There's probably one guy in every team at least that plays that way.
Any superstar.
Right.
Any superstar is going to, I mean, some bitch more than others, but any superstar is going to complain that they don't get the call every night.
I agree with that.
Doesn't matter who they are.
Watching one on TV right now.
Which one?
Well,
Curry.
2 of them, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Curry and Draymond.
All right, let's jump into it. The match. I know you watched it. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I watched it on and off, and then I rewatched the entire thing
Okay,
Sunday
thank
night.
God. I was hoping he wasn't going to text us and be like, "Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch that," because he's going to be disinvited to tonight because that's the main topic. So, what did you guys think of it?
Star of the show, Justin Thomas.
I thought Thomas did great. He took advantage of that, which, by the way, is in debate now, because Thomas said he had a degree from Alabama in communications. He was going to put it to the test. And then Jordan made a comment to Manning at some point during the match, or Tiger,
Yeah.
and said he never graduated.
Yeah.
So we need to figure this out at some point.
Yeah, it's true.
I need to picture that diploma.
And maybe not the line of the night, but one of the top ones was Justin Thomas
To Charles Barkley.
saying he'd like to see Charles' fat ass dunk a ball right now.
Yes,
So yeah,
that was the line of the night.
That was.
so basically, if you didn't see it, the context was, I believe Phil hit a chip shot. Justin said, "You have no idea how good that is. It was a great shot." And Charles made a reference to, that's like me being impressed with somebody dunking a basketball. There was a small moment of silence, and then I hear, "I'd love to see your fat ass dunk a basketball now, Chuck." And I don't know if he thought he was off the air, but Russ and I looked at each other, we're like, did you just say that?
And I think whenever basketball gets going again and Barkley's in a TNT studio, he's going to try to prove that he can still dunk a basketball.
You're probably right.
And
I
I
didn't
can't
think
wait.
about
I
that.
can't wait to see that. At some point, he will try to prove that.
I don't see any way possible he can.
I don't know. He's still like, what,
He's
6'8"?
still like
Honestly,
He's
yeah.
6'8", but he's
But-
also 6'8" plus 200 pounds than what he was.
Yeah. and we're talking 10 feet
Yeah,
baskets,
he's,
right?
he's one freshman bigger than he was when he retired.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though.
I think he'll.
He's going to try to prove a point.
Yeah.
I was more impressed that Charles didn't have the hitch when they re-aired his Bogey or Better
yeah.
challenge.
I think he's been working hard on that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they did make a TV show about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
It took some guts to go on that show with Hank Haney. It
Seriously.
really did. As bad as he was at golf.
If I sucked that bad and they were like, "Hey, we want to film this," I'd be like,
Nah.
yeah.
"No."
Right.
I'd probably
Be like this kid going out there trying to hit draws. It'd be embarrassing. Oh,
Maybe we can get a hold of Hank and see if I can.
hey,
I mean, he might.
Yeah. If Hank Haney wants to come chat with us.
Yeah.
Hank, I need a draw.
Oh, he'll have you hitting snap hooks, pull draws.
I hit a couple of those already, just not on purpose.
I thought it was good. It was way better than the Skins match a couple weeks ago with Fowler and all those guys. And nothing against those guys.
Right.
Absolutely not. I mean, what they were doing and what they were,
Yeah.
that was awesome. I mean, I get it, but
I think like we talked last week, the prior Skins match felt just very forced. They put these guys out there that
yeah.
maybe aren't really friends, and they tried to force them into the situation. In this one, Tiger and Phil have been competitors for decades now.
Yeah.
This is obviously not the first match they've had. Just a lot more chemistry between the two of them. And then throwing in the quarterbacks, non-PGA golfers, I think, helped relax the situation, let everybody have fun.
I think all 4 of them. I didn't realize what kind of stories or anything Manning had, but all 4 of those guys have one-liners that can come back at you quick.
yeah.
I think that when Manning told a story, first of all, he could have just mic'd up just Manning, and I would have been entertained.
Yeah.
Okay. He told a story about him playing a match with Tiger. I don't know if you were here yet when he told the
Probably
story.
not yet.
They're playing in the background. They got the camera just tractor beam. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Zoomed in on Manning. And Manning tells a story. Sorry. Manning tells a story about how he's out playing with Tiger.
Bay Hill, I think it was.
Yeah, but Stevie was still his caddy. He tells a story that all day Stevie's reading his putts, like, oh, this one goes a little left, this goes a little right. He's like, we got on like number 13. Hey, Stevie, does this go left? He's like, just nothing. Does it go right? Go straight? He's like, nothing. Stevie looks at him and says, Tiger said you guys have a bet. No more help. That was like the end of it.
And then he goes, and I paid him $50.
Yeah, I paid him $50 at the end. Yeah. So I thought it was great. Just the commentary. The other Charles moment that I absolutely loved was Brady couldn't hit. He couldn't hit a softball straight at that point. And Charles comes on the air and says, I got something to say to Tom. Put me through to Tom. So they put him through. He's like, hey, Tom, I'll give you $25,000 if you can hit the green. And then Brady's like, oh, man, that's really generous. That's really great. You know what? $50,000 if you can hit the green. And Brady gets up and hits it nowhere close to the green. And then there's a small silence, and you hear Chuck, damn, Tom, I should have said 50,000 to land it on this planet.
Dude, he was going hard at him, and it was great.
It was fantastic.
But I felt good about my game watching his shot tracer.
He's
go all
awful.
over the place.
I mean, he turned it around. I'll give him that. When he jarred that wedge shot, after he hit it right, hit it right, and then he jarred it, and he told Brady to take a suck of that, Chuck, on camera. And he split his pants picking it out of the hole.
No, he actually split it before. Because that's why everybody said it was split when he did it. But if you look at him walking up to the hole, you can see his pants are already split at that point.
So you were checking out.
Yeah, it wasn't staring at his ass.
Checking out Brady's ass over here, Bills fan. It's all right.
Decent looking guy.
Insert Brady picture, split pants, right here.
They said on the pregame when they were on the range, pre-match, whatever you want to call it, they said Tom Brady played 36 holes that morning and then spent a couple hours at the range prior to this match.
36.
Or excuse me, 18.
Yeah.
So 36
18.
holes total.
He played 36 total. Yeah, he did.
So he played 36 total on the day. 18 prior,
By
then
himself.
spent like a while on the range, and then went into this match.
I assume they're like any of. I'm sure they were nervous. Him and Manning were.
Oh, yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Manning's a good player, though. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I mean, I heard Manning at one time was scratch.
Yeah.
So I wasn't real shocked that Manning was just piping it. You and I thought it was over.
Yeah.
Like, they got 3 up, and I'm like, if
The
they
way-
go to alternate shot with Brady hitting it like this,
Yeah.
sign the card on 13.
Yeah, the way Brady hit the ball in the front 9, if he had done that on the back 9, it would not have been anywhere near close.
Listen, when Chuck criticizes your game, it's bad. So that's how bad he was on the front line.
Good point. If Chuck
very
wants a
true.
piece of you, it's not good.
Yeah. That back nine, though, completely different.
Yeah, it was extremely entertaining.
I loved Phil. I don't know how it was 14. Where that drivable par 4, and he hit that one over the trees. And I'm like, that looks good. He goes, touch long.
Touch long. It might have spun a little. Yeah.
He lands 3 feet from the cup, and Brady's got a 15-foot eagle putt.
Extremely entertaining. It was way better than the other skins match. I think even if we don't watch the other skins match, it was entertaining. It was totally worth the watch. It was worth putting together. And I read today that Phil wants to make this an annual thing.
Yeah, I heard he's
Get
got
different people involved.
Yes.
He's gotten a lot of calls about it.
What I don't know is it Phil saying, hey, I want Tiger and I to do it with 2 different people every year, or is that what he's asking?
That's what I heard. I heard it would be Phil and Tiger would be the constants, and then they will try to plan it to do after Thanksgiving.
He made it
they did
sound
the
like
first
that
one.
just because he brought up different ideas about him and Tiger playing as a team or going against 2 younger guys. Like
That would love to see.
You know,
And he brought up. I know he brought up Curry's name.
And Jordan.
Romo's.
Jordan Romo. So
So Romo was one that we thought should have been in replace of Brady.
Yeah.
After the watching the first 7 holes, I'm like, man, they should have picked up Romo for this.
Yeah, if Romo was there, though, I mean, that might not have been close.
Oh, here comes the Cowboys fan, everybody.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to only win one up with.
But what would have happened in the fourth quarter with 4 holes left to play? Would you been able to close?
Well, neither him or Phil could do that.
He's got nothing.
So, hey,
He'd have
you know,
gotten
at
hurt.
one point he had the most fourth quarter comebacks ever.
We'll
in
get
NFL
to the
history.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
And also, I loved Tigers when Phil told Tiger to mark his ball up on the green when Phil was, 140 yards back.
They had a punch shot off the.
And it almost hit his ball.
Yeah.
But my favorite, he's like, can you mark that? He's like, which U.S. Open marker you want me to go with?
Yeah.
You got any gold ones?
Got any gold ones? I got
any
some
gold- I got
silvers.
some silvers.
No, that was extremely entertaining. I hope they do make it annual. If they mix it up a little bit, and I like the Tiger Phil together.
I think that'd be neat.
And the reason I like it is because for years people thought they hated each other. There was never really any animosity there. Yeah, they were kind of like same era, back and forth. But Phil said they're just two different people. But they got real close the year Tiger was assistant captain for, I believe, the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
He was hurt. And I think for Tiger, that was like a come to Jesus moment. Like, I might never play golf again. He really, truly thought that. I mean, at one time, like, I can't even swing a golf club. I don't know if I'll ever play again. And then him and Phil, he said they talked on the phone every day.
Yeah.
Gearing up for the Ryder Cup. So
Who if they played 2 younger guys, I would put Thomas in there.
Fowler.
You think
Fowler or Spieth?
I was going to say Thomas would
Yep.
definitely provide entertainment, and my first thought was Spieth. But
Yeah. Last on my list is Patrick Reed. Just, I know you were curious, so there it is.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between, I'm fine with.
I think it'd be neat. Just even if they had, 3 or 4 matches going on at a time, with PGA Tour players, something like that. Just something, obviously, it's for charity, like just having fun.
You got to have personalities if you're going to isolate the groups and mic them up.
Yeah. Yep.
For sure. I mean, we saw what happens when you have guys that are just kind of like, meh. Not that they're bad people.
Right.
Dustin Johnson just doesn't have a lot to say. Justin Johnson wins the U.S. Open. They're like, how'd you do today, Justin? I had pretty good. I'm just going to, made the putt on the last hole. I'm probably going to make a few $1 million. I'm going to Paulina. He doesn't have a lot to say. So I would take anybody with personality that's,
Rory, you could throw Rory in there.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
If Rory's around the right people
Yeah.
to kind of like get that back and forth going, for sure.
Watch videos with like when they're around with him and Tiger, Jason Day, those guys.
The TaylorMade commercial shoots, yeah.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, Dustin Johnson's in there, but he still doesn't.
He doesn't say
very
shit.
much in that, but the other guys do. They're pretty. They get back and forth. with each other. It's pretty good.
2-wire in there? Oh, try to tail. Yeah, we get stingers. Yeah, that's good. He just doesn't have a lot to say.
Jesus.
I remember when we went down to the U.S. Open at Oakmont,
Yeah.
and TJ was hitting balls in
Yep.
the range. And I look back on that, and like we're watching TJ hit balls for like 45 minutes to an hour. And Ben was packing up TJ's bag and ready to leave.
Yep.
And Dustin Johnson like waddles over and just like stands there. Doesn't say a word. He just stands there looking at TJ and Ben. And then they turn around and he's like, you guys done here? They're like, yeah. All right, I'm just saying. And then he just moped around the range for 10 minutes and he hit like Snedeker's clubs and just kind of just did whatever. And just, not a bad guy probably, but he's just kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So, hey, Dustin, you just won $3 million. Oh, sweet. So, Paulina already spent it.
Well, it's nothing compared to my father-in-law's money. So
That's true. Which, by the way, if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, I want to point out the fact one time Gretzky supposedly told Dustin Johnson, if you're going to marry and date my daughter, you need to chill out on the partying. Do you follow your daughter on social media? Yeah, random dudes in random bars taking body shots off her, and you're telling Dustin Johnson to
We're
chill
going
out?
deep down this hole.
As far I just hit a dead end. I don't want to go down any further. But, I mean, there's that one time DeRicci went to the President's Cup. Hey, Gary, how's it going? Picture of Paulina. And like an hour later, Gary, what's up, man? How's it going? Picture of Paulina. I just got pictures of. I didn't get one picture of a player for like a week. DeRicci sent me pictures of Paulina Gretzky. So,
Oh boy.
all right. So we got our resident cowboy expert in the house. And we got to bring up the elephant in the room.
Jamie's been waiting for this.
He has. Well, Russ called him out and said, well, if he wanted to be here, he could defend himself.
yeah,
Here he is.
It's true. I don't remember why I called him out, but I do remember calling him out. That was clearly before the Dak
I think you guys were talking about the
situation.
schedules.
Oh yeah.
And then, this guy said the Eagles are going to win the division.
Oh.
Whatever. Yeah.
This guy.
I'm still behind it,
Yeah.
So anyway, Dak. The rumor is.
especially with Dalton at QB.
Ooh. So that's where we're going. We're talking about QBs here.
Dalton can easily go 9-7, and that will win a division.
That's really. I kind of agree with that.
It might.
Yeah.
He can easily go 9-7.
Chris Sims reported that Dak turned down a contract to make him the highest paid player, right?
Yeah, he'd be
Player in the
highest paid.
NFL,
Yeah.
quarterback in the NFL, 5 years, $175 million. He wanted $45 million in his last year, the 5th year. And then there was some reports of that's not true. That never happened. Those discussions didn't happen. I don't know who you'd believe at this point, but let's pretend contract was on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was 5 years, 4 years. Jamie's Dak an idiot for turning down this contract.
I mean, yes, but I get what he's trying to do. So he wants a 4-year contract, and the Cowboys want to give him a 5-year.
5-year contract.
But the reason he wants the $45 million that 5th year is because he believes the market's going to reset, and then that's what a quarterback is going to be in 5 years is $45 million. The thing is like, if that's the highest paid quarterback, I mean, we're talking Mahomes, Russell Wilson. Is he at that level? Probably not.
Is Dak a quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen.
Dak's a quarterback.
Listen. I watched the episode before. If Dak was a free agent, the Bills would take a look. There'd be
Everybody
22
would take a
teams
look.
that take a
Everyone
look.
would look.
Yeah, there'd be 22 teams that take a look.
Oh, for sure.
Look.
Yeah, they'd be interested.
I'm a proponent that Dak is not as bad as everyone claims he is.
No, he's not.
I don't think he's worth $175 million.
No. I mean, how many quarterbacks are? There's probably
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
But I mean, if you're going to pay that guy, I mean, like I just said, he's just trying to figure out how to reset that market when the market resets that 5th year. But the same aspect, he's saying, "Hey, I'm on Mahomes level." Like even as a Cowboys fan, I'll defend it.
That's tough to say.
Even Russell Wilson, right now, because Russell Wilson's the highest paid quarterback. He's just not. He can win you games. I mean, Dak's not going to win you games like Wilson and Mahomes will ever win you games like that.
I'm still a firm believer that Dak should sign the franchise tag, take the $33 million or whatever it is for the franchise. I think it's like $33 million.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and prove yourself, and now you hold all the cards.
Another question, just as a Cowboys fan, is like, even if he wants that 5th year, why are the Cowboys hesitant to just give him a 4-year deal? What's
Right.
wrong with a 4-year deal at this point? If that's what he wants,
Yeah, I
he
mean,
wants 4 years, $35 million.
'Cause
okay.
what is he? He's probably, 26,
I
27?
mean, he's played 4 years, so he's 26,
26.
27. I mean,
So
it
puts him
31,
31, 32, which is,
right.
which
I mean,
is-
that's probably the end of his career, roughly. Probably that
I
near
would
the
say
end
it's
of
like
his career.
middle of his career.
I
I mean,
would
some of these
say- I would
quarterbacks now with the
say
rules.
halfway
playing till they're 40.
to 3/4 through his career.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady's still playing. And he's going on 43.
Yeah,
These
but-
guys aren't taking the hits that they did
Yeah.
10 years ago. That's the thing. Aaron Rodgers is 36, is playing on.
I was just going to say, Rodgers just got paid 2
And he-
years ago, and he's 36 now.
And he says, I want to play until I'm 41, 42. I mean, they're just not, because guys like I look back in the 90s, like Aikman and those guys retired early. They don't take those hits
They
anymore.
don't take them. And Rodgers sat for, 3 years? 2 years?
2-3 years. Yeah.
Behind Favre, so it's not like he took a lot of damage. I just, money-wise, Mahomes not going to get the money he deserves, in my opinion, because with everything going on, if they cannot have fans in the stands, which 2 owners
Yeah.
came out this week in the last couple of days and said, I'm extremely confident we're going to not only going to have a season, we're going to have fans in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the big thing behind that is, in my personal opinion, if you're that worried about it, don't go to the football game.
Right.
If you're that worried about
Yeah.
it and worried about getting sick,
I'm sure
stay home.
They could find 20,000 other people to buy the ticket.
Exactly.
So,
And if they don't do the gate sales that they want to do or can do, then the salary cap's going to drop. And therefore, guys like Mahomes, they're not going to get the money they should get.
see, the thing is like, I don't think the salary cap is going to drop much this year because of this, just because
no,
of
it's the following year.
Yeah, but just because of the deal. It's a signed deal. It's guaranteed money. I mean,
Yeah.
and then it's still going to go up 3 years from now, 4 years from now. It's always going to go up. I mean, I don't think any of those quarterbacks are ever going to get the money that they all deserve. I mean,
Right.
they're making billionaires more billions. I mean, we're talking 45 million. But I just, like, as a quarterback standpoint, like, if I'm Dak, I mean, who am I? I mean, I'm not worth that much. I'm taking it. Let's do it.
Right.
Okay, because
Well,
you could play on that franchise tag, blow out your knee, and guess what?
You're worth $33 million, and if you
And then
can't live
next
the
year
rest of
you're
your
not
life on
worth-
that,
you're not worth
Right.
nothing. Next year you're getting Cam Newton can't get signed,
right?
and
Cam should be. He's got to find a home.
I just don't. So
And what good does an extra $10 million 5 years from now do him?
He wants what? So franchise tag's 33, and he wants what?
35. So he would. My understanding is if it was a 4-year deal, he'd sign it.
Right.
If they add the 5th year, which the Cowboys want the 5th year, he wants that 5th year to be $45 million, because that's when they believe the market will reset for quarterbacks.
I would take the franchise tag, and then you hold all the cards, sign a 3-year deal, go from there.
I mean, the thing is, franchise tag could help him, could hurt him.
right.
I mean, he could go out and throw 20 picks, and Andy Dalton's also. Who's to stop him from saying, "Hey, we're just gonna go to Andy if he has bad."
But if you have the franchise tag, you're still getting $33 million.
I mean, for that year, but then the next year that doesn't help him.
So, but like you said, back to your point, say Dak's a free agent. 20-some teams are probably calling and knocking on the door.
This year, but go out in one bad year and everybody.
Right.
That's gone.
No,
I'm
that's
just
true.
saying, 5 years, $175 million. It'd be signed for me already. I don't need a franchise tag. I'll take the 5 years, $175. And they could probably Cowboys could figure it out to where that $45 million might not be guaranteed at the end of the contract. They could have a way out of that contract they want.
The club option, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna, at 35 a year prior, and then hitting that 45, most quarterbacks with a year left try to restructure contract anyway. So try to get that extra $10 million if you're playing well
when it
enough.
resets.
You will
Absolutely.
easily make that $10 million back in 4
Absolutely.
years.
That's what I'd say. Hey, go win a Super Bowl too, and then get that $45 million 5 years from now. But until.
And if you play well enough, how much endorsement money are you getting?
He's getting
In a big market.
in football terms. He's probably getting a lot of endorsement deals just because he's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. It's just always going to bring in money no matter what.
So let me ask you, as a biased Cowboys fan over there,
Trying.
do you think Dak has a lot of leverage to negotiate a contract for going 8-8?
Yes and no.
They had the number 1 ranked offense in the league.
Yeah, but I watched every game. You could have the number 1 ranked offense, but when you're down 35-10 and you throw up 330 yards in the last 2 quarters when the game's already over.
And they
They did that.
They had a
Green
top
Bay
10
was
defense.
35. Green Bay we were down 35-0, I think, or something like that. And then we put up 400 yards in the second half.
Right.
We're already down 35. But yes and no. Because you can't forget his first 3 years.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
I haven't looked at his statistics, but he's for wins as those first 4 years. He's got to be in the top 5 for how many wins he has in his first 4 years as a quarterback.
Right.
He's on par with Brady.
I'm going to jump back on kicking Max Kellerman in the balls because the asshat was on TV today. Like, we should just get rid of special teams and do the special play for onside kicks and kickoffs. But the guy was on TV a few weeks ago talking about how, the Cowboys were a better team than they actually showed because their special teams didn't win them games. Well, they had the number 1 ranked offense and the 9th ranked defense, and a lot of experts, Mel Kiper.
They were the 32nd special team and 32nd, but that's not what one of them lost some games.
Right. Some experts claim that cost them games. And then we got an expert, Max Kellerman, on TV, who claims to be an expert in every sport, even though he's dumber than a football bat, claiming that that's why we should get rid of special teams. It's not needed in football.
The thing is that just shows that they don't watch the games. I can go look at the stats.
Let him know,
and say,
Jamie.
hey,
Tell Max Kellerman how much of an idiot he is.
Jeez.
Waiting for Kyle to break out the
But
Stephen A.
what
Smith
happens, with the Cowboys last year, is
impression tonight.
they might drive 80 yards, drive ends. It's red zone. I would look more at red zone defense and red zone offense more than I would at total offense, total defense. Because if you're taking 3, you're taking 0 on your side of the red zone, that's worse. You can rack up all the yards you want.
Yeah. So Dak's not worth the money right now is what you're saying.
I would be okay if he signed the 5-year 175. That I would be okay.
So you're
with
saying
that.
he's dumb for not signing that?
Yeah, I think it's just not the
I feel the
smartest
same
move.
way.
I think we can give him that because at $35 million 4 years down the road, that might be, but what? Yeah, 35. That's just what every quarterback's going to be. Any decent quarterback in the NFL, I would say the top 12 is going to make at least $31 million anyways.
Right. I mean, a lot of players have terrible track
Carson Wentz
records.
just signed a contract last year for $31 million,
Right.
$32 million. Jared Goff.
$100 million.
But, I mean, it's 31, 32 annually. I mean, all those guys are
it's
going to
3
get
year,
that.
$100 million. I mean, we got guys like Le'Veon Bell have a terrible track record of, I want guaranteed money, turn down the franchise tag, and then sign a contract with less guaranteed money than if it just signed the franchise tag.
Well, he held out, and it bit him in the butt. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Zeke, it helped him. He held out, and he got his money. Le'Veon, he didn't.
I think Zeke held out because he knew what was coming with Amari Cooper and Dak.
I mean, yeah, but
you
Zeke
hold-
also, I think, held out because for the first couple of years, that offense went as Zeke went. It's just
No, I don't disagree with
that
that
defense
either.
went how Zeke went.
Yeah.
Zeke helped everybody, and just the amount of usage that he was getting. Like I said, now his career is going to be over at 31, 32.
Yeah, he
Those
takes a
guys,
lot.
I mean, all those running backs do. They don't really. You don't see guys.
So let me say this: if Cowboys truly offered him 175 and he wants 185, what is stopping the Cowboys from if they truly believe in him? What's stopping them from giving him an extra $10 million?
The thing is like you could say the numbers are going to go here 5 years from now, but you can't predict the salary cap 5 years from now.
Right,
So
but
if
if you
you're
truly
guaranteeing him
think
$45 million and he takes up 20% of your cap, they just
Right.
throw up a stat. I think there's like 15 quarterbacks
Yep.
that have made 15% of their salary cap, and only one's been in the Super Bowl.
Matt
Yeah.
Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I mean, if you
Teams-
truly think he's your guy, if you truly did offer him 175 already, what's another 10 million?
I think the market's
I think
saturated
it's
right now with quarterbacks.
I just think it's the 10 million for the last year. That's an extra. I mean, that's 45 million on a salary cap, but who knows?
But you guys said he could be in his prime at that point.
Could be.
So why not give him an extra 10 that final year?
Because, I think
it's
with
all
Jamie, you
salary
can't predict
cap.
it.
It's
Yeah.
it's all things that we don't really quite understand.
Right.
I think it is. It's all numbers that we don't know.
And I think I'd be better with it if it wasn't guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's just like
Yeah.
if there's some sort of option for the club out. I mean, I don't know. We don't have the contract in front of us to read the fine print, but
And we don't know teams' numbers down to the
I mean,
decimal point.
I
We
saw
don't know
5
that.
years,
We don't-
175. I'd be like, yep. Where do I sign? I'll sign twice.
Would you have thought that
I mean,
long?
come
No,
about
You
no.
gotta think 5 years from now you're going to sign other players like Vander Esch, if he ever comes back healthy, was a top linebacker his rookie year. Like he's going to need a contract. Other guys are going to need contracts. You just
That's where these teams get in trouble, right? Is if you have a really good rookie draft class,
Teams-
1 year, and then 5
Yeah.
years from then you're like, oh shit, now what do I do?
most times
Yeah.
you see teams win when their quarterback is on the rookie
yeah.
deal.
Oh yeah.
Because Seattle happened with Seattle. Russell Wilson on his rookie contract. He went to the Super Bowl twice. Then he wanted, hey, I want that $35 million. Richard Sherman's gone. All those guys are gone.
Yeah, that
Legion of
defense.
Doom is gone. They don't have that defense anymore.
Yep.
So Mahomes. This year.
Mahomes this year, I mean,
I
they're
think
not-
Brady's the only one that's proven that. Otherwise,
well, they've
Don't
always
pat Brady on the back.
they've always restructured his deals. They've
Belichick.
New England has their backdoor things.
Yeah.
They do weird things that make it work. But
But again, he's not asking for $45 million a year.
no, I mean he didn't have to. I mean his wife is worth $300 million. So
Oh, he went there. I mean,
I mean,
Brady's
Dak's-
wife wears the pants.
well, she
We
makes-
know Brady doesn't know how to wear pants because he splits them when he wears them. So
Well, she's made more money than he has. So.
that's true. Would you take Dak for 5 years, 175? Would you sign it?
I think I understand athletes want to maximize their value. I think as a human being, you're absolutely stupid for
Yes.
not signing something that's anywhere north
Agreed.
of $100 million.
Right.
I mean, and you got guys like Gronk and Marshawn Lynch who have yet to spend anything they earned on the field.
Yeah, they
They've
just lived off
spent-
their
and
endorsements.
With all their endorsements.
If you can't do that, like,
Players are different.
That's what I was
though.
gonna say.
How many
I know.
times, but 85% of the NFL, they leave the NFL, and 5 years from now, they're bankrupt.
That's what I was saying. If you have
Yeah.
$33 million, you sign a franchise tag, and that doesn't get you through the rest of your life, I would fire your
like-
financial advisor.
yes,
As much as Antonio Brown, we don't like Antonio Brown. Like he went on the LeBron James podcast there once. Sorry, LeBron, but he's like, he's like, hey,
what's that
LeBron,
podcast?
what do you want to
Russ
do?
wants it?
Do you want to do after you're done with basketball? Do you want to go on ESPN and commentate? He's like, no, I want to own. He's like, exactly. A lot of these football players, Randy Moss. I mean, he has to go on ESPN to make money
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're going through it all.
What's the name of that podcast?
It's
again?
on HBO. It's
Never heard of
it. They're in a barbershop.
Oh, yeah. Is that the same one where he was on like TV saying he was the greatest basketball player ever?
Probably.
And then someone clipped the video of Jordan like staring at the iPad laughing.
But
Russ is all in.
I mean, if you're in LeBron, or Kobe
did you write
shoes,
that down?
I mean, wouldn't you have to think that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna try to be the best.
Right.
If I had that talent, I think LeBron's like the second freakiest athlete that's stepped on a basketball court behind Shaq. I do.
I mean,
Just
Shaq
because
is just huge.
But the thing is you put a 6'8", 260, that muscle, that fast. It's just freak. He was born. They're born freakish.
No, they said he had wideout speed,
Yeah. So,
which is crazy. I mean, that's tight end
which helps.
size.
Where, guys like Kobe, Jordan, they might have to work. I mean, not that he's worked. LeBron's always worked hard. I'm a big LeBron fan. I think he's the second best ever. But those guys might have to work a little bit harder at their games because they weren't as strong. They weren't as big. They weren't as going to be his.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Do you feel better? You got that off your chest? Though?
Yeah. I mean, this LeBron saying right here. I was like, oh, man.
This is like a therapy session for Jamie. We talked about a little bit of LeBron. We talked about the Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah. We got that out.
All right, we're going to give the stage to Russ.
Mm-hmm.
NHL's coming back. I didn't look up details. And the reason I didn't look it up because I assumed Russ is going to have the details. So we're going to have sports, live sports.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's further out than I realized. It's probably not going to be till August.
Really?
Is that the date?
So
I thought it was
they haven't. So
soon.
they've outlined the framework for what they're going to do. The timing is still a little bit up in the air, but it sounds like early to mid June, players can travel back to their home team's facilities and start their own personal practices and whatnot. Start working out again using team facilities.
Okay.
It's not going to be till early to mid July where they actually have a formal training camp.
So they're going to give him like a mini camp.
Yes.
3 to 4 weeks there.
And then they haven't put the date out, but following that training camp is when they would start. They've basically said the regular season is done. They're going to go directly into a very modified playoff format.
24 teams?
Yep. So that that training camp in July, and then they haven't put a date on the season. But if training camp is usually 2 to 3 weeks, so even if you put it 3 weeks out, that puts you into August before they're playing again. But so there's 31 teams in the NHL right now. They're immediately cutting out the bottom 7. So they're basically taking the top 12 from each conference to go into this modified playoff format. So that immediately eliminates Buffalo, New Jersey, Detroit, Ottawa, Los Angeles, Anaheim, and San Jose. So those teams are done. Their seasons are over.
Now, if I'm correct, none of those were actually on the list of possible sites, correct?
I didn't compare the entire list, but I don't believe so.
No. So I think Vegas is like on everybody's list.
Vegas is a slam dunk.
And then, so obviously we've heard, I think last week before, we talked about Edmonton.
Heard that.
I've heard Toronto.
They listed them. They listed
did they?
10 cities. They haven't decided. They're going to decide on 2.
I didn't see the
Columbus
10
was
cities.
one of them as well.
So, yeah.
I think if you go
Pittsburgh.
Vegas, Pittsburgh was one of them. I think if you go Vegas, you got to go somewhere on the East Coast after that.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for television.
So if they go Vegas, they're just going to have all the West Coast teams play there, and then...
So they're going to do 12 teams from each conference. They're going to pick 2 cities. Each conference will travel to one city. So one of the cities will have the Eastern, one of the cities will have the Western. They're going to take the top 4 teams. And they're going to do a round robin against themselves to determine seeds 1 through 4 for the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
The remaining 8 teams for each conference will be paired up based on the seed, so 5 through 12. Like 5 would play 12, and they're going to play best of 5 series to get into the playoffs. And then from there on out, it's very similar to the normal playoffs.
And do they have any anticipation, like how long this would last, or is it 2 months, a month? They got to cram it in? Because I heard whatever site they picked, it was like they could do at least 3 games a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would even think they could probably do more than that.
Yeah.
So, well, depending on overtime rules.
Typically in the NHL, in the playoffs, they don't play every day. So if you had your own series, you would play every other day. So if they follow that, it's still going to take a while.
Yeah.
The NHL has already said next season they're willing to start that substantially later than usual, potentially even into like mid-January, they said. So if this starts in August and lasts through November, it sounds like they don't really care. They would have a, like a 6-week off season and start next year in January, which would be 3 or 4 months late.
And then play a full season. You just have a shorter off season again.
Yeah, I'm guessing they would have a crammed in schedule.
Yeah.
And, probably a shortened off season next year.
I did hear a couple things today. NHL representative said he talked about the 24 teams and 2 sites. He mentioned possibility of if you're in the Eastern Conference, whatever the site is on the West Coast, they all go there. So there's no bias. No one can say, oh, they had an advantage. They had fans or comfort. I don't know. Talked about the flip-flop. And then the other thing they talked about was they really, truly believe that the NHL, like you said, could start in like November. And when they do, out of all the sports right now, major sports in the U.S., NHL, out of all of them, really needs fans in the stands because the NHL doesn't have the TV money coming in that the other sports do. They're going to benefit because they're with NBC, and NBC doesn't have the Olympics right now. But as far as like overall, TV deals, they don't have that TV money coming in. So they rely a lot on their gate money coming in for teams.
Yeah.
Yep. So the cities, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Edmonton, Vegas, Los Angeles, Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Pittsburgh, Toronto, and Vancouver. So really Pittsburgh and Toronto are the only 2 cities there that are in the Eastern time zone.
Columbus, you mentioned, right?
Yeah. Is that still in the Eastern time zone?
Yeah.
So Columbus. So there's only 3 of the 10. 7, 8, 9, 10 that are in the Eastern time zone.
You had Dallas in the Central.
I mean, I'm trying to figure if they could pick, like, I still think Vegas is number 1, but then you've got to send the Western out east so that Vegas isn't playing at home.
Right.
That's why I almost think a place like Los Angeles, I mean, I don't know what arenas they have other than Staples Center out there, but Los Angeles is on the list, and Los Angeles is not in the playoffs, so you could send the West to L.A. because L.A. is not in there.
Yeah, but all 3 of the. Of course, you could send the East to Chicago if you wanted.
The thing
right?
is like
because Chicago's on the West, so
wouldn't that be tough, like on the Eastern time zones for watching
That's
games?
what I say. They're going to want half of this in the Eastern time
for
zone.
sure.
yeah.
Like just because
So-
diehard fans might, but some people might not want to stay up till midnight to watch the start of a game.
And if TV is already a problem money-wise,
Yeah, I mean,
you're cutting your country in half, though.
taking half
All
the fans.
West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they're going to have all the hotels around. That's why they pick these cities. They've got a group of hotels, accommodations, so the players aren't going to be able to leave anyways. So I guess it really doesn't matter what city you're in. You're going to be probably within this couple block radius of an arena. So, I kind of see them picking, my opinion, Las Vegas and Toronto, another hockey mecca, and probably flip-flop conferences. Send the Western teams to Toronto and the Eastern to Las Vegas.
I like that.
That's strictly my opinion.
NHL, if you need an idea, get a hold of us.
I have no issue if a legitimate team, like one of the top 10 teams in the league, wins this. But I'll have an issue, and Russ has probably looked this up. Montreal and Buffalo. Montreal played 2 more games than Buffalo did this year. The night that they canceled the season, they were supposed to play each other. If Buffalo would have beat them that night and then they canceled the season, Buffalo would be in, Montreal would be out.
Ooh, interesting fact.
Yeah.
So as long as a legitimate team, like top 10 team, wins it,
You wouldn't want to see like Montreal win it.
correct.
And I heard 17% of the players are currently outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
So you'd be a little bit salty if some team that
Yeah,
wins.
and New Jersey, I think New Jersey was in the same boat as Buffalo. They had played 2 or 3 less games than Montreal did.
The only thing, I see what you're saying, but the NHL playoffs, how they're usually played, are known for being basically the hardest playoffs in all sports. It's a grind.
I'm not in hockey, but like I don't watch much, but it's crazy when you get in the playoffs where you see like these 8 seeds and 7 seeds upset these guys where you don't see that in basketball. Like it's just how close it is.
Yeah. So if you take Montreal, like you're saying, for example, you've got the normal playoffs, and to even get into that, they would have to win that best of 5 qualifying round. So there's even another series prior. To me, if a team like Montreal went through that qualifier
Yeah.
and then won the entire
Yeah.
playoffs,
I mean-
they've probably earned it.
Right.
But
I
there was
I was surprised that first, like the 5 through 12 seeds, was a best of 5, because I feel like it's gonna, drag out into. I feel like it's gonna be Thanksgiving by the time this ends. It's obviously not gonna be that long.
I
but
think if you go best of 3, some teams are going to say, "Is it worth us even coming back?"
that's what I thought. Well,
You could be done after 2 games. Is it worth it?
you can be done after 3, so it's. I mean, it's not that much different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It'd be tough to convince a guy to come back, train from June to end of
Yeah.
July. Hey, dude, can we get back into this, and then lose your first 2 games, you're out.
yeah.
Best of 5 always sounds better than the best of 3.
And the other part, I don't know all the details of this because there's still some of it up in the air, but the draft lottery is going to happen at some point in June. And there is potential for those bottom 8 from each conference to actually win the lottery.
And when
And if they do that, they then go into some phase 2 of the lottery that happens later after the playoffs have started. So I think if that round robin wasn't a best of 5, say it was a 1-game play-in, there would be more incentive for those teams that don't think they could win the cup
yeah,
to actually throw that 1 game
Right,
to
yeah.
get
Yeah.
to win the lottery. So I think it's harder to throw a
yeah,
best of 5 series and not have it look obvious.
Yeah.
But there is, I believe, potential for some of these teams to actually
How does
win the
their
lottery.
draft work? Is it based on record in the NHL? Is it
It's
So
it's similar to NBA.
NBA?
with
They
lottery.
do like lottery balls or
Yeah, and they changed the percentages this year, I think, because of. I was trying to find. I was trying to find it
So
today. I
those
couldn't find it again.
bottom teams that are out, are they going to guarantee the top spots for the NHL draft? Because, like you said, Montreal, their bottom team. What's to say they win the whole thing and still have the same odds to win the
yeah.
draft lottery?
So that's what I'm saying with the goofy fact of this. A team like Montreal that is near the bottom, they could actually win the Stanley Cup and the
In the
first
draft.
overall pick this year.
That's
I
crazy.
believe.
it's almost a
So
Pittsburgh
that-
Why wouldn't
situation.
they just
right?
take
Yeah,
the
so
bottom
they're-
7 teams and make them the top 7 picks?
So they
So
have the
that-
best odds.
Yeah.
I know, but just and then
Yeah.
go back to your old style for the playoff teams,
Yeah.
the teams they put in the playoffs. That
Because
way
you
they
expanded the
don't-
playoffs.
That way you don't. Do
So
that.
we've talked about this while we're not recording, so I've been meaning to ask you this, waiting for the time to ask you. Can you explain, because I don't know if Jamie's ever heard this either, and I didn't know this to explain it to me. Can you explain, like, contingent draft picks for teams?
Yeah, I meant to talk about this the last time. So
Just kind of like a overview of how that works.
So the NHL is one of the leagues where you can trade your draft picks and you can put contingencies on those. So you could say, wish I had an example, but say Buffalo. So Buffalo's out this year. Say they had a rental player they traded to Pittsburgh. The player went to Pittsburgh. A 3rd-round draft pick went to Buffalo. You can put contingencies where if that player re-signs with Pittsburgh or scores X number of goals in the playoffs or Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup, that 3rd-round pick could become a first-round pick.
That's kind of cool, though. That's kind of
Yeah, same
So
way.
that's why you
so
really
the-
need the playoffs. is
The problem is this year, if they were talking about having the draft before
Yeah.
the playoffs, but they couldn't do that because there were like 7
Yeah.
examples
Where-
of first-round contingencies that were dependent on the playoffs that would happen after.
And there's a lot of those that, I'll trade my 3rd-round pick, but if you guys make it to the Western Conference Finals, it moves up to the
Second round
wouldn't teams wouldn't agree to maybe bypass this year and use that for next year.
I don't think they would because there's some examples of kind of superstar players that were traded this year that team, I don't know. It's tough to explain, but
still a
I don't think
business
they
at the end
would.
of the day.
I
so.
don't think they would. Especially this year's draft is supposed to be a lot deeper than usual. I don't know what next year's will look like, but those teams may hope that contingent player gets eliminated so that their draft pick remains, worse
Yeah.
actually.
Instead of
getting better.
Yeah. But I wish I had the whole list in front of me. There were I think there were like 7 first-round examples and like
Right.
20-something total in the draft that depended on certain playoff
so, are you
performances.
excited about this setup? You like it?
I do. I'm okay with it. I mean, being a Buffalo fan, it sucks that they're not in it. But, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement especially in that qualifying round, the best of 5, where you're not really in the playoffs yet.
Right.
Even though I don't like it, it's almost like the Major League Baseball wild card play-in series now. To me, that qualifying round probably have a similar feel to that, a really do or die.
It'll be curious if you said the top 4 are playing round robin.
Yep.
If obviously they're looking at the standings, who's playing? You know, if I'm the 4 seed, I can play this team or this team.
Yeah.
Because they haven't said yet, and I think someone asked Bettman, and he said it wasn't final yet. Because the NHL reseeds each round.
Yep.
So after the first round's over, they reseed, so the top always plays the lower. And they didn't know yet if they were going to reseed after that qualifying or if it was just going to be bracket format. So if it's bracket format, you know, hey, if I'm the 2 seed, I can play this team or this team. I match up better against them versus. So that would make it interesting strategy-wise with those top 4 with the round robin.
The good thing, I think, with the top 4 teams in a conference, I think there's going to be enough pride there that they want first overall. I don't think you'd see the top teams in the league purposely trying to lose to set up a better position. And that's the advantage of the round robin. You throw one game, maybe the team that just beat you goes out and throws another game and screws your whole plan up anyways.
Yeah.
So my question to both of you is that you're big hockey fans. I enjoy hockey, and I enjoy hockey more. I pay attention to it more, enjoy it more during the playoffs. It is more intense. There's a little more on the line. I feel like the players a little more anxious on the ice. It's a little more intense. Whoever wins the cup, they come back, they play all this. Whoever wins the cup. Do you think there should be an asterisk on their Stanley Cup?
No.
I don't.
I think we kind of talked about this couple episodes. There was 10 games left in the season.
Yeah, it was. It was really close.
I don't think there should be asterisks on
I don't either.
sports, basketball, hockey, any of it. I mean,
it is what it is. You're in my opinion, you're dealt the hands. You know.
I know every team is in the same situation where they've had a couple months off, but I think having your season just stopped all of a sudden, taking 2 months off, and then if you have the players, the coach, the system that can just restart and dominate, to me that you might deserve it more this year than in the past.
And you can't blame the players. And I'll give you a good example. And the reason I'm firm in this belief is a couple years ago in a golf tournament, you were there on Sunday, and we were told it was a match play tournament. They said we're playing 9-hole matches.
Yep.
And you were there in the morning when all of us said we want to play 18-hole matches.
Yep.
And we were told no. We had no control over that. There was even conversation between just the players where, all right, if any of us make the championship match, it's 18 holes, and after 9, we just keep going. Just keep playing.
Yeah.
That conversation was had on the side, and there was a consensus, but we were basically overruled as players. We didn't have a choice. We had to play 9-hole matches. And I had people come back to me like, well, yeah, you won it, but it was only a 9-hole match. I'm like, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Someone could have went out and beat us in 9 holes, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They had every opportunity. It's not like we went out there in a 9-hole match play and we're like, oh, by the way, we're starting 2 up. Good luck.
Yeah.
We were dealt the hands. We couldn't do anything about it.
Every team's going to start with the same disadvantages
Exactly.
as everybody else. It's not like one team's been continued playing with this 2 month, 3 months off.
And to me, that brings out your game, right? If you struggle the first 3-4 holes, well, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
But you better come prepared to play.
It's not like you didn't go in the match knowing.
Yeah.
It's 9 holes.
Yeah, it wasn't like on the 8th hole we're like, hey, we're done in a hole.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah, by the way, guys, we're 2 up. We're supposed to only play 9, so we're good. So, you were there on Sunday, and you were part of that hole. That didn't go over well with a lot of people.
We got smoked that day. That was an example where, if it was an 18-hole mat, we got off to a slow start, and we couldn't come back in the 9 holes. If it was 18, we might have. You got more chance to come back.
Right.
But the guys that beat us were in the same situation we were, so I wasn't going to complain about it.
Yeah, it was one of those, it is what it is. We can't control it. Go out and play.
It's different. It sucked, but whatever. It's what it was.
Yeah.
That was all done because they were predicting these massive thunderstorms the entire day, and then it was blue skies and sunny all day.
Never rained.
It never rained all day.
Never rained.
So
not a drop. We sat there for almost 2 hours after.
Yep.
Drank beer and hung out. Never rained.
It was as nice as could be.
Actually got better as the day went on.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. I have a couple questions for all of you guys in pertaining to the NCAA. obviously there's been conversations about, do we pay college players? How do we pay them? We went down this rabbit hole a couple weeks ago.
Obviously.
Yeah. And Reggie Bush slapped ESPN's hand the other day. He did an interview with Playboy, and ESPN wrote their own article that basically said, Reggie Bush said paying college players would destroy them. And Reggie Bush responded to them on social media and said, take this article down. I never gave you permission to post it. I never spoke to you guys. And that was kind of his...
And he said they took it out of context from what
Took it
the
out of
question
context,
was
yeah.
that was asked to him.
Now, I have not read Reggie's interview at all, so I don't know the full context
But he
of it.
looked through the magazine.
He bought it for the articles.
Listen. Jamie knows, since he lived with me at one time in an apartment, that I have a stack of Playboys that I'm convinced are going to be worth money someday. I have the Lindsay Lohan edition, okay? That's all I'm saying. That thing was hard to get. I have it. It's not in my
I'll
house.
give you $1 for it.
Nope. Because the magazine itself costs like $6.
All right, so where are we going with this?
So just the NCAA and their players, we talked about that. I just want to mention that Reggie Bush slapped ESPN's hand. And we're talking about a guy who lost his Heisman because of the rules I don't agree with.
Yeah.
You know, the guy won the Heisman because he ran for so many yards, so many touchdowns. And
Not because his mom got a car.
no, I don't care. I really don't. What does mom getting a car have anything to do with him winning a national championship? I mean,
Yep.
hey, Mom, I know you got a Cadillac. I'm going to run faster now. That's not how it works. It just isn't. Not unless that Cadillac's a cop car and it's chasing him. There's nothing's going to make him faster. But University of Michigan, a representative of Michigan came out this week and said, and I'll quote it, if there's no on-campus instruction, there won't be intercollegiate athletics, at least for Michigan. I 1,000% disagree with this statement.
Wait, say that again?
If there is no on-campus instruction, there won't be intercollegiate athletics, at least for Michigan.
So I know some colleges are going back
Right,
next week, whatever it is.
right.
So, and I know some colleges have already, I don't know who it was, one of the University of Cal sub-sites, or whatever you want to call them, already said they're doing virtual classes in the fall or whatever already. But, yeah, I think athletes are allowed back on college campuses. Yeah, I think it's next week.
Right.
Some have said already.
So I read this quote, and I raised my hand. I didn't get called on, but I had a question. I had a really important question. Dear Michigan, how many of your student athletes are already not on campus taking just internet classes?
Right.
Especially for your major sports. I mean, we heard last year Chase Young did an interview where he wasn't even on campus. He was like, I take online classes. He wasn't even on campus unless he was working out or practicing.
Yeah.
So how's that any different? You mean to tell me you got to have the rest of the student body on campus for athletes to compete? That just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I brought this up to you the other day. I'm like, he made that comment. I'm like, what about kids? I mean, most of your athletes take online classes or don't go to class at all, and we just sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah, degrees in underwater basket weaving.
Didn't Matt Leinart take dance
Dancing.
classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Senior year.
Ballroom dancing.
It's ballroom dancing. That's all I took.
What's wrong with that? Probably got some ass from him. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
The fact that it's a class, I don't know.
Well,
I didn't have that offered.
Is that where the money's going? Is towards ballroom dancing
Well-
classes? I mean,
ballroom dancing's got more substance to it than the intern on Pat McAfee show who just took a final on Greek. It's a dead language. You can't speak Greek.
yeah.
But here we are. So anyway, your thoughts. Do you think that colleges, because SEC is, and some of those, they're in.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that they're not having on-campus classes? Should there still be sports? I feel stupid asking that question because I have an opinion. But
This is going to border on political that I don't really want to even get into, if I'm being honest about it. But I don't know. I think we all have our opinion on this whole situation as a whole. But if you still, at the end of the day, college is still for education, number one. And if you don't view it safe enough to have students or faculty on campus, I can see the argument that it's not safe enough to have athletes on campus. So I get what you're saying about the online classes.
The thing
But
is,
that was my first thought.
it's not the athletes that will make the big deal about it. It's the people that aren't athletes. They're gonna make a big deal about it. The people, it's political. He's right.
Because what if you have an engineering student who doesn't care about athletics, that's being told he's not allowed to be in a building, in a lab, working hands-on with something, but then you're letting the football team out there practice.
Right.
But I can make the other argument and say, well, I mean, this guy made us billions of dollars last year, so.
I get what you're talking about. I really do.
You don't know, though. That engineer could do something special and come back and give you a lot of money.
That engineer's going to class because those guys are playing sports.
I still think some of these guys, not all colleges. We have, you have your Power Five, whatever they call them. I mean, we use Clemson and LSU as examples. I mean, the money they're pulling in to probably make their, you know. I talked to Allie about this the other day, and I said, we looked at the cost of like Clemson. The cost of Clemson is, yeah, it's expensive, but it's really not that expensive like in-state. I mean, you're talking $15,000 a semester. That's pretty low as far as like cost-wise in some of these states. And you have a lot of kids who, in my opinion, when you get to the South, there's a ranking system, and it's like college football, church, and then, you know, whatever else you want to do in here. But it's usually high school football. Yeah, and then NASCAR, yeah. But a lot of these people are probably in-state. They went there because their parents were there. I'm just using Clemson as an example. I get where you're coming from, though, but I feel like Clemson's a huge example, in my opinion, that they are getting a ton of money coming in from the NCAA, from fans, from tickets, just merchandise sales. And they get a ton of support right there in North Carolina. I don't know. I see both sides of it.
So what if
Clemson's in South Carolina, just so you know.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
So understanding that about the money, again, put yourself in the shoes of the engineering student who had to pay $50,000 tuition and is now told he's not allowed on campus.
Right.
Are they going to lower that tuition?
Right, because you're not paying all the fees.
I'm paying $60,000 for education to stay home to do it. I don't know. I mean, I get both sides. But.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Just in general, is how much of your tuition is supposed to go to room and board that you're no longer
even
activities fee.
Teacher, because I mean, how much are those guys if they're not doing live classes? They're saying, "Hey, just do this." Their day's done.
Allie's sister was taking a class on Zoom. She's paying, $30,000 a year or whatever it is to go to Elmira. And she's taking a Zoom class, and the professor couldn't spring for the $14 for Zoom. So every 40 minutes for a 3-hour class, they had to start it over.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That seems like me and my buddies last Friday night.
If I was the student, that would annoy me enough that I would pay the $14 for him.
Or just not. When it restarts, sorry.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Get it going, professor. You got 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm with Russ. But again, okay, if you want to have the football team play, but if you're not going to allow students on, then you shouldn't have fans in the stands. And guess what? They're not going to make money then.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
They will. It's on TV. They get
some of the schools, but not all of them have.
Remember, you're splitting. I get TV deal. You're splitting that with every school versus
conference, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a conference. So but Duke or North Carolina and Clemson, they're splitting that 15 ways. It's still money, millions of dollars.
Yeah, but you think about. I'll pull ACC. I think Wake Forest holds 45,000 fans, something like that. And then you get schools like Clemson are holding 95,000. That's a huge difference in fan money.
Right.
But you're splitting that TV cost.
Yeah.
But it's still revenue coming in. Whereas now you don't have that. There's no sports, so there's nothing coming in.
I just want sports.
I think we all do.
I think
just want sports.
Yeah.
We're all trying to make the argument that we just want sports.
I'm trying to support a podcast here, and I can't do it very well.
I think what do they got? 2 months to figure it out, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a podcast here, and we got people who are just
try to get people back.
Yeah,
back to
I just think everybody's rushing to make decisions too soon right now. Let's just play. Let's
play and see what happens. Can we keep the administrators of Michigan shut up? Sorry, you and Max Kellerman get picked in a dodgeball game. Again, we're trying to do a podcast here, right?
All it takes is like, a little threat. I mean, New York's opening back up the sports because they said, hey, you teams can come here and play if you want.
Well, we talked about that. Was it last time we talked about it that they're opening up because there's definitely states that are like, oh, you guys can't play there?
Texas is like, hey, you guys can't come on down.
Come on down
open.
here.
Yeah. Georgia, hey, we're open.
Yeah,
Florida.
that's a lot of revenue to states that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Hey, Yankees, you want to come down, play here in Georgia?
I mean, New York's got a lot of teams.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they got the Bills. You got a football team because the Jets and Giants are New Jersey. So don't want to correct me. Stadium's in New Jersey. And you have 2 baseball teams. You have 3 hockey teams, right? And you have 2 NBA teams. There's 7 teams in New York.
Mm-hmm.
If my math is correct.
Plus a huge PGA Tour event.
Huge. One of the best. Can't wait for it.
You have at least 2, 3, 4 AHL teams, American Hockey League, top minor league team. You got 2 or 3 AAA baseball teams.
Yeah.
Right? Rochester, Syracuse.
Buffalo.
Binghamton.
Yep, Buffalo. Binghamton's done, actually.
Did they really?
They cut the X on them.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow did them in.
Rochester's getting close to getting the X to it.
I heard today the Oakland A's said they're not paying their AAA players.
After May 31st,
Yeah.
they're not paying them. Did you see the pay scale they tried to lay out for the MLB if they come back?
Yeah,
for
some
the
of
players.
the players are going to make like not even a third.
I'm convinced that MLB's not going to come back.
Yeah,
If they do that pay scale, yeah, I don't see players are not
going to come back.
Why? I'm like, hey, am I going to come back for if I'm supposed to make $35 million? Now you're going to tell me you're only pay 10. I come back, blow out my knee. Well, even though baseball, all their money's guaranteed, so it's different.
It's true.
I was kind of wondering that when you guys are having the NFL conversation. To me, the guaranteed money versus non-guaranteed money in the NFL, to me, just make it guaranteed.
I don't.
If you sign a contract,
I
that's
hate the contracts
contract.
where it says 5 years, $120 million, $70 million guaranteed, and that. So
Right.
why don't we just say you just signed a 5 year, $70 million contract, and then
Yeah, you have incentives.
keep your other incentives to yourself. That's why basketball, baseball, I like. It's simple. Everything's guaranteed.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that'd be a good argument if you're at the negotiating table. Guy comes in and says, "I want 125 million. Like, I'm going to give you 70 guaranteed." Okay.
But I can understand the NFL's argument as to not wanting to guarantee instead of just saying like guarantee 125 million because I mean that's more physical sport than basketball or baseball would be. I mean hockey's more physical than any of those sports would be. So it's like
I like that you said that.
I mean it did. Listen, I don't watch hockey a lot, but
We're touching my
I enjoy
leg
it in
right now.
person.
That's not your knee, is it?
Let's get physical.
It's not
You got
your-
a bone over there?
I enjoy watching it live. It's fun to go.
Yeah.
But I haven't been in a long time.
But I just want sports.
You can watch Russ and I play hockey in the driveway if you want.
Oh yeah. Cool.
By the way,
I beat Russ one time.
I filled him in. I fill you in. I fill you in. Do we have a new golf game coming out?
Don't fill me in.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to be doing skins games on the golf game
I'm in.
Skins
for
game,
real money.
Skins game on the golf game.
Yeah.
Is
for
it
real
cross
money.
platform? We gotta
We
protect
got to
this
figure
guy
that
here.
part out, but
We gotta
Why?
protect this guy.
I got an Xbox.
Oh, you do?
I got
Yeah.
both.
Oh, all right. We're in.
My Xbox hasn't been turned on
it
in
hasn't.
9 months.
Mine just gets turned on for Netflix right now.
Yeah. So just a heads up. Coming in August. Skins
Yeah.
games. All right, boys. Any money on you?
Do I have any money?
We gotta just get some money.
My wallet's upstairs.
All right.
His
So Adam,
wallet's upstairs.
But then I think
no, he won both.
Oh shit! I won both.
Yeah.
you sure
See,
about that?
I don't pay attention. So I knew I won Wednesday.
So I had Wednesday. He had
I definitely won Wednesday.
Toyota 500. He had Kyle Busch, who finished second.
Uh-huh.
The winner was Denny Hamlin. None of us had Denny Hamlin. You would have had Denny Hamlin. Had Jimmy Johnson retired again. 2 weeks in a row.
So unless it was different, I only looked at the last name. Didn't Jimmy Johnson come in second Sunday? Did he have who won the race?
I had Coca-Cola 600. Brad Keselowski.
Yep.
And then Ryan Blaney finished third.
Who finished second then?
Yeah, I thought Jimmy Johnson came in second.
You just said first and third.
I did. I looked it up.
Did you have Jimmy?
Yeah.
He had Jimmy.
Russ
He had an alternative too because we weren't sure if Jimmy retired since we're huge.
Russ heard some
Big
retiring
NASCAR
news.
fans.
Yeah, it says Elliott came in second. What the hell did I read? Some iRace bullshit?
Some racing bullshit.
Jimmy Johnson had the best pizza review on Barstool. Is that
So
what
yeah.
So what do I owe him?
We owe him $10. Isn't that horseshit?
All right.
Just pay him out of his wallet. Here's
20. Keep the change.
I like that. I gotta start doing that more.
Next question.
Oh, no, that's all I had.
Are we redrawing? Jamie getting in on this?
We can redraw. What's coming up?
I don't know.
I
Is
don't
there
know.
something
I thought
tonight?
Jimmy Johnson won. I don't know what's coming
I
up.
can see that.
Isn't there like 2 races a week?
There is. I think there's
For
one
like-
tonight.
There's probably
That's what-
one tonight, so let's hurry up and
Let's just draft now.
What's tonight, Russ?
NASCAR schedule tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow on Fox Sport 1 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Alsco Uniforms 500.
Is that a cup race?
What's that mean?
Yeah, it says Cup Series.
Because there's the Xfinity Series, which isn't what we bet on.
These things are starting to sound like college football bowl games.
Yeah. Like I
Because
think
after this is the Food City 500, followed by the Firekeepers Casino 400. And I'm not making this
hey,
up.
you got to get that sponsor money in there.
I saw casinos are going to start opening up next week.
In New York?
Yeah, Seneca Niagara in Buffalo said they're going to open next week.
Let's ask the important question. Are they going to be
Tioga?
open? Yeah. Is Tioga going to be open so we can take Russ down there and wait for someone to be down 2-1 in a hockey game in the second period and have him throw $20 on it?
Yeah, I can win that shit.
He's done it. He can win it. He does.
So yeah, there's a race tomorrow at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So do we want to draw for that?
We can do. You want to do 3 or 4?
Are you in on this, Jamie?
Sure.
All right, let's do 3 names.
3 drivers? There's a bowl over there next
Do
to
you
you.
want to do it for both races?
We'll do. Is there one this weekend?
I assume there's one this
So
weekend.
we'll draw for both
Food-
races.
Yeah, the Food City
Oh, yeah,
is
Food
on
City.
Sunday.
Names are already in there.
Hopefully they're all the
Boomski.
same drivers. So we each draw 3 names, $5 a man, and those drivers will apply for tomorrow and Sunday's race.
Okay.
Best position out
So
of the 12.
$10 total for 2 races?
Yep.
Okay. Deal.
Best position out of the guys we draw.
Stealing
wins.
pen.
Yeah.
Casino's been closed. I'm willing to bet on anything, so.
All right. Jamie, you can go ahead and take the first name.
Yeah. I write this down now.
Okay. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Kurt Busch.
Make sure you write the whole name out over there.
I don't have anything to write down.
I got you then.
I got Russ doing it. Kurt.
All right, just a second.
K-U-R. Bush.
Yeah, the Polish kid did tell you how to spell.
Kurt
All right, Jamie
Bush.
got Stenhouse Jr. Adam got Kurt Busch.
Like Junior.
You're
Kurt
lucky you showed up with
Busch
that money for that
Light
putter, because I would
Jr.
have bought it tonight.
Oh.
You would have lost it.
Oh, you undertook Marcus too. He wanted it, but he went dark. He went radio silent after I offered it to him.
All right, I got
If
Brad.
I had known, I would have outbidded you. I could have been.
I got Brad
Could've said
Keselowski.
220.
I got a couple other putters. You want for sale?
Yeah, what do you got?
Brad Keselowski.
We'll
Yep.
talk.
Let's see what I got over here.
Oh, that's my Polish brother.
Thought you weren't Polish. That's what you said.
Oh, man, why do I always get this guy? I got William Byron.
Okay.
All right, Jamie.
I hope you get
Kyle Busch.
There we go.
Doesn't this guy play hockey? Eric Jones.
No, I don't think he does.
No, he's a NASCAR driver. That's why he's in there.
Yeah, that's why he's in the bowl. No.
Wait, that's not a NASCAR name, though. Eric Jones.
He was the Jack man. He got
Yeah, promoted.
promoted.
Someone got suspended.
I've got the Mexican wizard here, Daniel Suarez. I have no idea if he's Mexican. I apologize if that was offensive.
The Mexican wizard.
Let's move on.
All right. Joey Logano. All right, Jamie.
Alex Bowman.
Dude, Kobe's on fire right now, by the way, in this game.
Too soon.
You know what game this is?
His farewell game.
Attaboy.
I'm right. Chris Bell.
Oh, here we go.
I'm 2 for 3 on these names.
I've heard two of my guys' names. I know Kyle Busch. I've heard of Stenhouse. I don't know who Alex Bowman is. It sounds like a baseball card or something.
Adam's just pulling names he can spell. Jones, Bell, Bush. I got Eric Almirola.
Who?
Shit, I spelled it wrong.
So did I, but I don't care.
Corolla.
Oh, shit. I win. You guys want to pay me now? I got Bubba Wallace.
Oh,
There you
Bubba.
love him.
All right, boys.
Is he part of the Rusty
Oh, yeah, we're
Wallace
doing
fan?
just 3, aren't we?
Yeah.
What if all my guys don't race? Can I draw? Can I draw 3 new ones?
Sounds like you're down $10.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I think the one will race, right? I don't know about the other two.
He'll be in the pits.
Yeah. Changing tires, putting in gas. All right, boys. That's all I have. Jamie, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
You going to come back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, he's got to come
Well,
back to
I
pay me.
had to avoid the last few because I haven't watched the Jordan documentary.
Oh, that's right.
God.
It's like
I
this guy
forgot
not
about
watching
that.
Space Jam.
Is that what I called him out on?
No.
How have you not watched that?
I can't remember what you called him out on.
I
But
don't know. I just haven't watched any of it. I haven't watched 1 second of it yet.
do you have the ESPN app?
I do.
Well,
I could
it's
watch it.
You could binge watch it at this point.
I think it was technically because I think I said the Cowboys were going to go 6-10, and Russ said
You did.
if Jamie was here, you could
I
back
said
him
Jamie,
up
yeah,
or something.
And you said Jamie had to have
was
an
like
opportunity to be
Yeah,
here.
you said, boy, if Jamie's here, and he said, well, if Jamie showed up,
All right.
So
Yeah.
technically it was me, I guess. But
All right.
I mean, you're just calling space.
So I was
babe.
just calling him out for not being here. I
Right,
wasn't,
yeah,
like,
that's
yeah,
it.
you weren't. It's just
not the
being there.
Cowboys or anything. All right.
Right.
We're good. He's here.
All right, boys. Anything else? Anything else? You want to get any Cowboys info you want to drop on us before we go off?
I got none.
All right. Well, may the best driver win. And Jamie, thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.